Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the TechGuy Podcast. We are at episode number 21 and the May month has just started. A new month and Google I/O event is just this month. So we are going to get a lot of updates regarding AI, especially from Gemini, Google, and also obviously on next month there is going to be WWDC, which is Apple's event. So now the year is now the year has started rolling out, and as we are going ahead in the year, we are getting much more exciting updates, like kind of a big events that are going to happen, obviously. So a lot of things happened this week, and it was hard to pick up what we I want to talk specifically. And yeah, so a couple of updates before starting the episode. So that I know that Apple and Epic case is going on, and Epic won. Like we have covered the Epic and Apple case in the European Union, also a couple of episodes before. But Apple and Epic case, I know it. We are going to cover that up in the next episode of the podcast that is going to hopefully on time. I know that we are not going on time on regular Fridays, but I'm trying my best to do it. So that is it with the Apple Epic news. Also, LlamaCon happened this week. I did try to get out of something that I can provide you, but it was not kind. It is much more of a developer core event, and yeah, then yeah, it was interesting to see the Meta and like Mark and Satya talking to each other about the future of it, the future of AI, the open sourcing thing, because both companies are like upfront in terms of open sourcing. So it was a good like a good conversation that you can go and hear it. Um, and also CMF by Nothing also launched their new second gen model of their CMF, which is their budget sector kind of a phone. Like now, like that the CMF phones, like sorry, nothing phones are mid-range budget section phones, but CMF by Nothing is again budget of budget. Like it's like again like much more smaller. Like I did watch a lot of reviews like how it is, because I really loved last year's Nothing CMF, which was insane in terms of what they have done with the, especially uniquely done with the modular designs, where you can pop off the back of the phone with like unscrewing couple of screws, like four screws. And this year they did the same with uh, like but with a lot of different modular systems, which again I really loved it. Let's see what they have backup for the future gen models. But uh, it is a good phone, I will say. At least I have not used it, obviously. I'm just saying by the whatever the announcements they did and whatever the reviews I watched. MKBHD even like said in his review that this is the budget phone of the year, at least for now, and it is the up there right now. And yeah, so let's see how long-term reviews come out, and then we can talk about those two. But yeah, then interesting thing happened again, like 2 days ago, like, or even yesterday, I don't know, because I'm recording this at 3 a.m. and it's insane. But yeah, you like so I was just clearing up my a notification from my like I have iOS 18. If you don't know, I use iPhone. So I was clearing up my notifications from the top down, and it just got that, like, I just saw a bug which was so weird. I will let you see on the screen here, like we are saying that, like, the clear notification button was just there, stuck there. So I had, so it did not get solved like even couple of minutes later. So I just, like, I had to restart my phone, and then it got solved. So a weird iOS setting bug, which is again not kind of an, I will say, a good experience from Apple. It doesn't happen most of the time because I don't use beta. So to let you know more about it, like I don't use beta iOS updates. I use public iOS update that are for everyone. So like I'm kind of a spectacle whenever there is a kind of a new update. I don't try to do it, but I have to make also, this podcast, these videos, so I have to do updates. But I'm also scared that this update is going to just corrupt my phone's memory sometimes. Like I have seen so many cases like that. I don't know, but let's see. That was a bug that I just wanted to tell you. So yeah, like I think that is it. So couple of like I want to talk before getting into episode. So editorial decision for this episode was difficult. So we have a couple of, mostly obviously we are going to talk about AI, and we have a couple of big news and a lot of quite good discussion topics rather than just news and updates, which I mostly like about doing it, because rather than just giving news and updates where it is much more good to just have a good thinking, rethinking, like having a thoughtful discussion about what is going on in the AI world. So that is what I'm going to do in this episode. So we have some news regarding OpenAI and their updates. Then we are going to talk about or some couple of small AI topics. Then we are going to talk about, in that small AI topics, we have two major topics that we are going to talk about. That is, one is about Nvidia's investment, $500 billion investment that they have done. They are trying to do in US. Again, a lot of political things also involved there that we are going to talk there, and also Jensen's like CEO of Nvidia and his thoughts about job creation and what they can hope for in the next couple of years with this investment they are doing in manufacturing in terms of in US right now. And then parallel to it, like we are going to transition into the new research, which couldn't have come much of a better time, which is again with the jobs. So we are going to compare like those two theories, like this is, there is a one research available, and then there is a one uh like opinion from Jensen. So let's say how that comes up. And after that we have, I think, a lot of, after that we have, yeah, that's it. That is going to be our big discussion topics of this week of the Tech Guy podcast. I think let's just get started. So we will start, let's say, with OpenAI, which is, there are a couple of news and updates regarding it. So OpenAI right now launched the lightweight version of their deep research model. So if you don't know deep research, there is an option, it is available to all free users also. So basically whenever you are asking a question regarding which needs much more understanding, just rather than just having a casual conversation, or just rather than just getting direct answers from it, deep research does deep research, whatever it, like it's in its name, like it's not that difficult to understand. It does deep research over all the internet and gives you the information in a really good format, and a really good conclusion. It's like a research paper, like whatever you want to have it, like it gives you a 10-15 pages, like kind of a research paper, so in depth. So it is kind of a good to have when it comes to learning something. It is come for students especially. Deep research is really good for creators. I am using it for brainstorming ideas so much more. So deep research lightweight model version has been announced. It is available, it will be available like gradually to all users. It is not just a kind of like, it is kind of an lightweight version of deep research, which with faster, you can say, speed, which just gives you a much more faster response according to them that they have seen here. So so basically for free users they have said is like once the limit is been reached for deep research on, for especially for free users, whenever you are using deep research there is kind of a limit they have now added, and after the limit lightweight version of deep research will be used. So then from like, so it was announced on like couple of like a week ago, 25th April. So the lightweight version will be available for all free users. I think up until now you are seeing this episode, if you are using ChatGPT, and do give it a try with the lightweight. It is just deep research, but it will just shift from deep research to lightweight version depending upon how much tokens you have, especially as a free user, and how much have you used it. So that is deep research for you. Um, so in terms of accuracy they have given a chart, we have it. So browsecamp agentic browsing, you can see here with in terms of accuracy, deep research lightweight version is 45.6% in terms of accuracy, and compared to our main deep research it is quite lower obviously, but it is made for faster use. So you can see here deep research is lightweight version is quite a good. I have still haven't used it. I mean not even because you never know how when it is switched. I had never experienced like switching between light versions and deep research, at least for now. So if I do use it, if I find any kind of a difference, I will let you know. But right now light version is available. So just use a deep research, like if you are into like studying create like it gives you more in-depth research regarding whatever you want, which is quite good. So moving on to the next OpenAI topic, obviously we have a couple of those OpenAI topics. So interesting news. uh, OpenAI gave an update to regarding their O4, their latest O4 update that they rolled on to all free users last week. Again, what happened? So basically, if you don't know what happened when OpenAI rolled their O4 to all basically the free users of ChatGPT, what happened? It started giving responses much more kind of, and they call it, you can like on Twitter you can see a lot of people are talking about it is giving kind of an yes man kind of a response. What does that mean? It means that it is kind of an giving a vibe where it is agreeing to a lot of things that you are saying, which is quite not good. So what OpenAI calling that behavior, it is kind of an, you can say, official term, is called psychophantic behavior. So the reason the meaning of that word is basically it is kind of an yes man behavior pointed out on Twitter by Sam, even addressed it. Like he, when someone tweeted, Sam addressed it like, yeah, we are working on that, and they rolled back couple of days later the update. When O4 was released, couple of days after that it was rolled back again from all free users, and now only team users and plus users, they only can use, at least for now, O4. So the reason they gave why it happened mostly is because they were focused on a lot of short-term feedback. So that was like the main reason. With O4, they expected to give it a faster response here, but due to that fast response, it evolved into something different that we now no is that kind of a sympathetic behavior, which is not good, like agreeing to a lot of things, giving kind of an yes man behavior kind of an being, it is the problem when occurs when it comes like it is not when they you can say that whenever they when they upload, like when they gave out this rolled out this update, it was not there. It gradually evolved to that phase. And the reason they gave it why gradually could have been evolved is because of the number of large people, they didn't expected it to be evolved like that. So basically, whenever there is something kind of rolled out to the free users. It ChatGPT evolves according to your basically whatever you have a chat or conversation with it. But what happened in this case, it when it got rolled out, it got used so much that it evolved into this kind of behavior. Now we saw on Twitter with couple of examples. So you know, because of that, uh, so that again they rolled back, so now not all the free users have it. Couple of examples that how they could have avoided this is they have given that they need more testers. So now there I think they will now expand the more testing ability, like more testers, like more kind of an better, like how uh, our iOS or one UI updates has kind of a beta version and developers test it. Same way, they will have much more large number of test group people, so that whenever they upload it to the much more larger free users, it they know, they get the idea of how these models would perform. So this is how basically this whole thing happened. They made up an update, they rolled back, and now they are working on it. Most probably, according to the OpenAI, they still will not rolled out for, oh, at least for now. I will give obviously in next couple of episode if there are any updates regarding this. So this is much more kind of an what happened with O4. But if you don't know, I also want to mention here when the sympathetic behavior came out, when OpenAI talk about how generally it happened to everyone, but most of the chat GPT right now is more personalized than ever. I will definitely say that it you can customize chat GPT's response on how you want it. So it is kind of an base, like kind of a personal response, but uh, they try to do, I will say, definitely a much more faster updates without noticing any kind of an, like, they try to do much more faster update, and I think they haven't tested it and they just roll back so quickly that they don't want any kind of uh, any further trouble basically. Mm, they also talked about how their chat GPT all models specifically are based on their model spec. I will link down model spec in the description. You can go check it out on how, on what basis are this model are based on, in terms of, you can say, like how in last week we talk about values, and how AIs AI models are based on the value core values they have down between. So same with ChatGPT also, they have their own model spec. So that is where all models are based on, and later on when you use much more of it, it gets much more customizable than after. But before going out, they have their own model spec. You can go check it out for now. So mm, so yeah, that is it for O4 update. Um, New couple of announcements in terms of search. So if you don't know, ChatGPT also has search in that. You can basically do Google there. You don't have to go always Google search for whatever you want. It has its own agentic browsing agent, so you can say that. So they have done a couple of improvements in search too, in terms of visual product view, direct links to buy it. So basically now there will be visuals, so images will be there when you want to buy certain products from directly from ChatGPT browser, and you can just go buy link and you can just go to that website to just buy it. That is also been improved and will be rolled out to all users. Searches are now also available in WhatsApp. So basically you have to dial I will link down the link that they have given. So you just have to tap that link, and ChatGPT, you will have the you will, it will redirect to the WhatsApp, and you can just send one message to ChatGPT, and so ChatGPT will be on in your WhatsApp. They did give a couple of examples how you can use ChatGPT, especially getting live scores, doing get like basic things like what Meta has do, but specifically they gave an example of live score updates, which I actually like it, because not me, I'm not a kind of a much heavy user of WhatsApp, but there are a lot of heavy WhatsApp users who are much constantly on it due to work, due to like the their preferences, and having updates regarding something like live score, live updates regarding some event, which is going to be really good to have those live updates. So I hope it evolves in future, like in terms of, when it comes to AI and this kind of a chatbot, when you have this kind of updates where in terms of your convenience we can get those kind of an updates which can be really good. Like now they have how shown, like you can watch the live IPL cricket scores, matches, like the updates. How about football? How about other sports too? How about like whatever is going on in terms of table matches? So like table sequences, whatever is going on in like any sport event. So I hope they expand on it rather than just like forgetting it. Then more citations have also added to the search. So basically, whenever you search on ChatGPT, with the help of like when it browse for you, it gives citations. That means links where it has been sourced that result for you. So you can cross check which websites it did it use. So more citations have been added, more highlight text has also been added, so you know that which exact text has been pulled out from which exact links, or like specifically website. So this is quite couple of updates from, you can say, a search from ChatGPT. And also, last but not the least, ChatGPT has also added the API for image gen is now also available. So if you are a developer, do check it out. API for image gen. So yeah, that is it. So yeah, this is where a couple of updates from OpenAI this week. They also did like couple of hours ago, I think, or like last day only, they released one more update regarding O4 model, and it's uh, much more reasoning towards it. I didn't check it. If it's any kind of a different or interesting talk about to discuss about, we will talk about in the next episode. We will see it, but it was much more rather than they try to go ahead. Like it's kind of a race. So what OpenAI is also trying to do weekly basis to go ahead and keep up with the pacing, because they already have updates, but they are rolling out, but they didn't used to roll out that quicker. But when the DeepSeek incident happened to like 1 month ago, a lot of companies were shocked, and a lot of companies were like, especially in terms of share market, there were lots of ups and downs. So now what has happened is like mostly, we will also talk about how further Nvidia is also mentioning now DeepSeek, which again, see, like it is not kind of a big threat, but what happened, it shook, you can say, the share market and the investors. Lot of in terms of technology, where it comes from is like with this kind of big companies, OpenAI, Nvidia, Meta, like Gemini, they do have an upper hand, no doubt. But what happens is like when there is a kind of a disruptor like DeepSeek in between them, these companies are not kind of a bother, like especially working, you can say, the engineers there, like they know it, what is happening there with DeepSeek and how they can improve it. But there is also always pressure from about the investors, like you have to work better and better for each week, and they have to answer to those investors. And now OpenAI is for profit, and they have to answer every weekly. They have to give updates like every other company now is. So it's kind of, and now you can get it how, like you can see how DeepSeek has not got any kind of updates, especially from last couple of months, especially last 2 months, where the last update was their version 3 of DeepSeek. After that, we didn't get anything because it is kind of a, not a company like this are right now, like OpenAI, Meta, Gemini, or even Amazon, or even Microsoft. They are not like these companies. They are kind of a small based company in China. Like, what compared to these big companies, like they shook them, and now these companies are kind of an online about giving each week every kind of an update regarding what they are doing. So, like, it's not about always tech, always technology, always about technical always. It's much more about playing a game in weekly wise. So yeah, that's it for, I think I will say, OpenAI's update for like this week, which was pretty significant. Much. um do check the lightweight version and do let me know. And also, if you use search on OpenAI, I personally don't use. Like, mostly on OpenAI, I only do brainstorming ideas and kind of those kind of thing, rather than in terms of research wise. I have never gone to any kind of AI right now, because I keep up with the news on daily basis, whatever it is happening, especially writing these podcast notes, or editorial, doing editorial stuff for this podcast on what news to pick on. Mostly I don't use AI in when it comes to especially research, because first of all, I don't trust AI in terms of it can hallucinate, it can give me uh like wrong, not just wrong information, a mistake that is slightly, which can cost me a lot when writing these kind of episodes in terms of notes. So when I already have to do a double check when when AI, what AI is giving me right or wrong. So I have always kind of been restricted using, especially in terms of research right now. Hope we can get a lot of updates in terms of research, in terms of not hallucination, in like error in terms of lower margin there. So yeah, we will take a break here now, and after a break we have a couple of small updates regarding AI with perplexity, and then we are going to talk about AI jobs, how AI is going to get affect, how jobs are getting affected by AI. And there is a research by Anthropic also, another, which is quite good. We are going to talk about that too. So after a break we will, like now, right now we will take a break, and after a break we will talk about that. So we will be right back. Welcome back after a break. So now we will talk about some couple of interesting news. But before that, let's talk about some small again AI news. So if you are a Perplexity user, a Perplexity AI user, they have announced bunch of features. Like now they have voice assistants on their app on iOS mobile version of them. Sorry, GPT image generator. So Gork 3 beta or 4 mini. So basically, if you don't know, Perplexity is AI, and they use lot of multiple APIs in there. Like, Perplexity is kind of an app or a web version of AI, where you can use all the other versions of AI that we know, like Gemini, you can say Chat GPT, or here Gork also. So basically, they with the help of all those APIs, they provide, you can use them at one place, that is Perplexity. Uh, it is it is both, I think, app and web version both is available. I don't mostly use it, but if you are a Perplexity user, you know it. They also introduced search. They were the first one to introduce search in the I think in the AI, in the AI, before even ChatGPT. It definitely now, even the recent updates definitely look like Perplexity search. So with the trending and a lot of stuff there too. So if you are a preflexity user, do check out. It has new voice assistant for iOS app, uh, new GPT image generator, and Grok 3 beta and O4 mini, ChatGPT 4 mini. So next one is Gemini. Gemini has updated, like given a new image editing tool. So basically, whenever you upload an image of yours on Gemini and you want to edit that image with background removal or adding something small like accessories kind of a stuff, they have given a couple of examples. So if you want to do that, if you are an advanced user and if you have image editor, do go and check it out. For now, I am not an advanced user, so let me know if you have tried it or not. So let's talk about last week's Nvidia's Jensen Huang visit to President Trump's. Like, it was kind of an event where they announced a couple of things. First major things they announced was Nvidia's stance on overall what is happening. So now, again, with the Trump tariffs, with all that happening, a lot of companies are forced to be in manufacturing. Like, we are also like thinking that how these companies will be forced to not just invest but forced to manufacture in US grounds, where they can have their more jobs in later in future. How uh, OpenAI is also investing $500 billion, like $500 billion of investment with Stargate project, like they announced when Trump Trump inauguration happened, I think 2 months ago. And again, with the Apple's investment, Apple is also doing $500 billion of investment. And now this is Nvidia's statement. Also, they have said that they are again investing more than $500 billion in manufacturing in US right now. So more than like $1 trillion of investment is happening for next 5 years of plan, I will say, definitely for bringing the AI manufacturing uh, in-house in US only. So Jensen Huang were doing an interview where he said that AI will be a net positive in jobs mostly. That was his statement. He also had a meeting with Trump president, you can say, and he talked besides Trump president about AI and how again US should be forward in terms of investment, how US needs to focus on this, that, like typical stuff that all scripted, we know it, like every company can use it. Um, in terms of political advantage, Trump got an advantage. Like Trump has an advantage in terms of like he's a businessman. So like in next couple of years, definitely it can grow. This like big investments that these companies are doing. It is kind of a political game for Trump, but we are not talking about in going in depth in that. We are talking about mostly the companies and their future and how they are trying to innovate themselves with AI factories that Jensen want to talk about in this whole uh, net positive for jobs kind of a thing. So AI factories are kind of a big deal. Manufacturing AI factories within US right now is it a need. It's a need for a lot of companies. And again, with the whole Trump's tariff situation, where how Trump's whole motive when he speak about tariff was he needs infrastructure and manufacturing for infrastructure in US only, so we don't give that much kind of an, you can say, tax to other countries, and that can have a depth in terms of uh, import export, you can say. uh, Again, um, it is been working quite good for him. Now Nvidia has given in and talked about their investment in US and their commitment in US for next decade, we'll say, with this $500 billion of investment, with lot of AI factories with manufacturing there. So what are these AI factories? So AI factories can be a lot of things. They are not just, we are not just about talking about chip manufacturing. We are talking about research. We are talking about development in terms of labs, a lot of things. So it is kind of a diversified in lot of stuff. So with the hopes of $500 billion investment, Jensen said with the help of that, lot of labor work and lot of jobs will be get created with this factories development with next couple of years, where these factories will be made. Skilled workers like carpenters, like steel workers, will definitely get a lot of jobs when now we are investing in a lot of stuff when it comes to these factories. So that is there too. Again, um, that was his stance regarding net positive. Also, again, how we are with the help of this $500 billion investment, how this how they are giving a lot of jobs again, which we don't know. It in theory is always sound nice. You will know how it happens, but yeah. Again, coming forward to his next couple of statements where he gave about regarding how we need to embrace this AI technology. He gave a couple of revolutionize time period where we transform ourselves, especially in terms of industrialization of manufacturing, in terms of cars, where we shifted from horses, like those kind of transportations to cars. And he's comparing that to that, like how we need to evolve with upskilling ourselves, reskilling with reskilling everything who are working right now, uh, upskilling our educational material in terms of AI and technology, changing formats for education. He talk about that too, about how we need to not just embrace but think about how jobs are going to get evolved. And in couple of next couple of minutes we will also talk about how jobs are evolving too, with Anthropic research. But he definitely is talking about how we need to embrace it. And with this statement, you can definitely think that there will be certain jobs in future, there like it will be kind of a niche and kind of an will be lost and threatened by AI. How now kind of an I will say that, you know when especially uh, people were talking about when Google's photos AI were coming, where even this AI came at the starting, and there were conversation about how it is going to take over, just like over the humanity. Those were also the people, and there were also the people who are talking about how their jobs will be certainly lost. And it is a fact that there will be certain jobs where AI will obviously overtake, with agents with simple tasks, especially in next 5 years. And how do people talk about a decade ago in 2010 2008, where there were not many kind of phones. Even till 2014 there were not any kind of phone worldwide in terms of camera, in terms of they were still not that good enough to compete against the main DSLR cameras, like main camera people who work as a kind of a professional. But later on, these cameras that we are using right now got so much better and better and better. People started to replace this with like, rather than going out and calling people who to shoot, even certain events, those were lower down due to like phone cameras getting better. People are getting better at getting photography, and now photography job is kind of an for niche, and not just niche, like obviously it is there, but kind of an there is kind of an upscaled version of what it was before 10 year, you know. So this is, you can find that same way with AI right now, you know, like how we talk about last week about, it will be much more about productiveness, you know. AI, especially when it will come into software engineering stuff and coding, that will be the first penetration of AI, where 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 10 people working on, now there will be only 3 or 4, and under them there will be agentic AIs and like AI agents to boost their works 10x. So like before, when the work was for 10 people, it will be for 4 or 5 people, like 10x, like doing 2x kind of an productivity by only less number of people, you know. And upskilling and people who can use those agentic AIs and sort of advanced tool will be will have always be have an upper hand in those kind of things. So definitely that is the first sector where AI will penetrate in terms of jobs and software designs, software code, engineers, specifically software engineers. And we do have research that Anthropic did last week too, so we're going to talk about that. But Jensen talk about how with every revolution, how we have in terms of technology, how we have embraced it, how we need to embrace AI too with this technology. And definitely kind of an bold, not just bold statement, but kind of an giving an idea what a future will look like. And their company's stance, you can definitely say that you can say 6 months before, they were kind of an afraid to say this kind of a statement about regarding how AI will take up jobs. Now they have come up with the better giving ideas, because people need to process this kind of technologies much uh, more and think about how we are going to evolve. Again, this is kind of an early stage of AI. I have always talked about, we are like zero stage of AI, and we are not at stage one of it, because this is just the investment we are doing. You know how in 2010, where software companies were rising due to the in like revolution in how mobile companies were coming up, and a new layer of industry just opened up with software developers for mobile apps, for web versions, for headphones, like new version of market just opened up, and heavy investments were done with with that kind of an industry, and that industry just exploded in the next decade from 2010 to 2020. And now we just know that how insane to think of that, how in 2008 where we there, and now where we are at least at right now. So AI, I think specifically right now is in that stage of, we are at a zero stage where we are at 2008, where lot of investments are going out right now, you know, and it is just investment phase. And in next couple of years, I don't think there will be going to be a big breakthrough in terms of like, or like in next 3 years, like companies will started using agents and jobs will lose out. Definitely not, because again, people are really good at adaptiveness, but with caution. So now the next couple of years are definitely for research developments in terms of labs, in terms of researching these AI models and giving out more and more, finding out more and more about this model and how we can improve it. Then there is a stage one from 0 to 1, where there are going to some good agents where they can do and we can trust them. That is like a 10-year kind of a journey how we had with our mobile industry and developer industry in terms of that. So same is going to happen with AI, and that we need to evolve with it, and we need to think about much more in that direction, you know. So that is how I parallel look into this. Like that is how I look in terms of parallel wise, in terms of business wise, in terms of, having kind of an making and trend, like how we were at 2008 and 10, and similar position we are now with AI in 2024 2025, where lot of things, investments are going to happen, and a lot of jobs are going to get created in this, and new industry is going to get open. Like we still don't have get adapted to what new technology and what we need to learn in, especially in universities, when it comes to these AIs, so we definitely are going to get a spike in terms of jobs in different sector. What I mean, not in now nowadays spike where we see up and down, but we are definitely going to see a lot of new different industry going to get evolved with this new technology, just like what happens with every in like technology peak point or starting point. So that is how I see right now AI too, and that is why I see that like how these all companies are just trying to just invest and wait, and it's a patience game right now. So anyone could have come with a great idea, like how, like we are still not being are not using AI's capabilities. There are still not uh, the businesses like how in 2008 2006 how Airbnbs were there, how like a lot of stuff were getting invented, and it like it took years to people to think about where we can use it. So ultimate goal of this AI and this technology is to where we can implement in this our lives, and that is what these companies are trying to find. And obviously till still to these days it's now much largely a failure, I will say. Failure rather than failure, I will say a kind of a grinding stuff. So I will see, like it's interesting to see which and who as a developer will come forward and uses AI at its own like most benefits. So I think uh, that is what I think personally with AI right now, what is happening in terms of how I can think parallel to the last couple of decades. Um, let's talk about the Anthropic. Before that, I will take a sip of water. Again, similar to the last topic also about jobs, and sorry, Anthropic released a new research regarding AI impacting jobs, especially in software development, because that is the main ahead where, so like this is where I like AI is going dominating in terms of uh, its capabilities, and we are seeing that, and people are even using it. So again, AI impact on jobs, which is majorly on software developers and software engineers. Like and talk about like it was again an obvious one. Like we talked in the last podcast where computer science engineers, computer science students are the most used and early adopters of these AIs, and we were definitely were like when the ChatGPT first announced, the first ChatGPT, when the first ChatGPT was announced, we were the early adopters were it, and I am using from the first month when the ChatGPT was released. So you can say that how we computer science students are definitely are the early adopters, and we are definitely are going to the early adopters in terms of impact of jobs too. The reason is simple. AI is better at that, and why it is better at that is simply because of, I will say, the way it has been coded and the way it works. So as we discussed in the how last episode about how CS students were computer science students were the early adopters. Same again here, uh, AI is going to be the impact in the job of software engineers. So as you can see here, uh, with the chart they have provided, Anthropic chart. I will link down the research paper in the description. You can go check it out yourself too. So in this chart, you can see the top coding use cases that people are using it. That is so software developers. At the top, you can see it is software architecture and code guide, and it is both in it is colored in orange and blue. So basically, blue one is Claudia.ai and orange one is dot Claudia code. So basically, that is for specifically code. Um, Now, if you don't know what is software architecture and code design, basically asking AI to do this code for me and it will give you that. So that is what software architecture and code design means. So it like if you ask for AI, just give me a loop for this code, it will give and design a code for you. That is what it does. So software architecture and code designs were the top use cases, and it is definitely, I will say, mostly students where uh, because of that students are using it for just for simple question and direct getting information from like getting answers from it to just do their work quickly. I don't know how in job people are using it in terms of because there are strict policies. I will say definitely when it comes to using AI in office work, but yeah, small here and there work I don't mind. They are obviously doing it, but when it comes to students, they are definitely asking direct questions to AI and to give this code and write this code for me. Basically, for most of the people are cheating, and also most of the there are other students who are using it for benefit too. But direct question answer stuff is happening there. Like we talk about how cheating in AI is happening and how students are using it too in the last couple podcasts. So then there is UI, UX, component development, debug and performance optimization, web and mobile app like these are essential software like top things that most of the students are doing at college. So I think that is where the spikes are coming. And when you go again down, algorithm and data processing, file processing and management, this is where I feel like the company people are using it. Database development support, test automation and framework, this is where people within company are, I think, or if who are doing jobs and trying to find out better solutions at in home. So I feel like you can get the quite a bit of idea how people are using uh, AI for coding. Then again, we have top programming languages where most of it is JavaScript, HTML, and Python. Again, these are the top languages or measures to like most of the students are learning with JavaScript and HTML both working together with web development. So you can definitely see a pattern there with Python, which is one of the easiest and most used language in all of the companies too. Then we have CSS, which is again, I will say, if you don't know CSS, it is like kind of an comes under HTML, like web development, which is much more used in terms of designing and UI UX, you can say. Then there are like as you go down, C hash, Java and PHP are again. I will definitely say people in the companies are using it, and not much students in terms of that. I will say SQL and Shell. Uh, Again, mostly I think this code based stuff are being used by students, and so As research said that major, which includes like, so as from the both of those charts you have seen that it is much more used in web development, UI UX development, and automation work is going on in when it comes to those kind of work, and not augmentation. So basically there are two kind of work. You can say that there is automation where automatic loop feedback loophole sorry loop feedback is happening with the code, and automatic is happening where augmentation is much more kind of an given back and forth between you and your code, which is kind of an augmentation where you can go there. But automation is basically asking AI to do this work for me and having that in loop so that you don't have to do much more. And you can see that that kind of a term is called vibe coding nowadays, people call it, where vibe coding is basically you are vibe, basically you are doing it in a chill stuff where much more of the work is being done by AI, and with in terms of automation, not augmentation, which comes to the question again where we see the future of agentic AIs and how AI agents are going to take over, where we need 10x productivity with this kind of stuff. Because again, like I said before also, like it's not like that AI is going to completely take over your jobs or take over with like completely over human jobs. It is kind of a long shot people think. The major stuff that is going to happen in next couple of years is use of AI agents done by the humans also. So basically where again the same simple logic. So where there are 10 people working on a single project, there will be 4 or even 3 people working on a single project with the help of AI agents, where the productivity will be much higher before mm, like before with those 10 people. So people who are upskill who will upskill themselves with these new agents and new AI agents, and will improve themselves, are going to be much more I will say safer. And people who are not going to improve themselves again, which is kind of a similar like which is kind of a similar to the nowadays condition too, where especially as a software engineer, and we are when you are doing at a job at a company, you have to improve yourself with new skills and to keep up with the industry what is happening. Same is going to happen with AI. And the major goal of these all companies what they are trying to do is like OpenAI Corp is like what they are building is fundamentally where with the help of this AI, like their business is again how I talk about their business is enterprise much larger than the commercialization that they are doing with individual customers. But again, what they are trying to build is with the AI agents in future where they can sell their models to these big companies and work with collaboration with them, and with the assurance of with the help of these AI agents, the work the work production of your work will be 10x before with less recruitment, like less with less people. So it is kind of an same logic again with these companies, and that is the major goal for next couple of years for these all AI models with this all AI companies that they are trying to get the work done, I will say, with who is going to be the first, who is going to be better in terms of business, especially doing that. And that is their major work is like making AI models so powerful, and again selling those powerful AIs to those companies, especially in the software industry only, because that is where AI is good at right now, and selling those. And again, goes to AI agents, there definitely will be a job impact, and developers are going to be less in those companies. Like less software engineers are going to be in a certain project, so there will be definitely recessions. There will be definitely a lot of layoffs where the structure is overall going to get destroyed and disrupted by these AI agents in next 5 to 6 years, mostly because mostly these are early adopters are mostly startups and individual developers. Big companies like, let's say, Meta, let's say even like, again, the software big companies, they are not going to be the early adopters mostly, because mostly the early adopters, they don't want to use AI this early just to be a flawed version of it, you know. So they will definitely be vetted, and especially when it comes to a lot of other industries where prediction is a good thing, like especially in sports, it is going to be huge. AI stuff is going to happen. So again, net and net, the first industry that is going to get affected by the AI disruption jobs is basically the software developers and engineers, especially computer science, where due to the new agentic AIs, software developers will be definitely lower and lower according to how workflow is, because they want 10x work with less people with these AI agents, because this AI agent is going to cost them less than a human that is going to work there. And Again, simple tasks, work that is done by humans right now, with even in coding, even in UI UX design, that jobs are definitely are going to get eliminated in next couple of years, like 5 to 6 years. I will definitely say, especially in terms of bigger companies, in next decade, a lot of jobs are going to get so limited, and so again, for the smaller companies and big companies are going to take over definitely, and a lot of these jobs are going to get just not just reduced but completely disappear, and new jobs will appear, but we never know that. But a lot of these jobs are going to get definitely affected due to these agentic AIs, and those lot of jobs are going to come under software developers, software development people who do this kind of stuff. So yeah, again, like how I say that early adopters are not companies, not enterprises, but are startups and individual developers, which is kind of an interesting. Obviously, early adopters are not always enterprise, and they are definitely not the first. So yeah, I think uh, that is it. I will say for I think this topic I want to talk about, specifically of jobs and how AI is going to definitely affect the jobs. And the first job, I think we were obviously having prediction for last couple of 6 months, like which is the industry that AI is going to affect first, and that is definitely a software industry where software developers and engineers are going to this is where the first jobs are going to get affected. So be ready for that. I will definitely say people who are into software development, there is definitely going to be a new fields are definitely going to get opened with these new developments, where we need more people who understands AI, who will work for these big companies to make AI better. So I will definitely say a lot of degrees like artificial intelligence and data science one are going to get a high spike, uh, and computer engineers are going to definitely have much more lower demand, but it is a far future, I will definitely say. Whenever this kind of stuff happen, whenever this new big announcement happen with new AI, people talk about how the jobs are at, especially uh, young people are afraid like me, and people like, I am doing this work, but I am also a student. So people who are doing software engineer, like they definitely get afraid due to this kind of stuff, that when people talk about, which is definitely not implement, like it is going to happen, but think of it is an kind of an practical and kind of an in terms of timeline how it is going to get integrated in work, because we have a lot of stuff to work on, and AI is not just going to get implemented in anywhere near, especially like that kind of a fast wave. We are, as kind of an as a journalist who I'm doing commentary on AI for like past year, knows that we are making rules not just for our safety with this all technology comes up, but also we are making a lot of precautions, and that is our job, my job, to ask this question, have this discussion with you guys. uh, let me know your thoughts about this episode, about AI jobs, about the investment, about what political landscape that is going to get played in this whole system. Yeah, and again, a lot of editorial stuff happened this week. The stuff like Epic Games and Apple Code, like like their what the situation is happening there. We have already covered it in the older podcast if you want to go to watch it. But I'm definitely going to cover it in the next podcast episode. We are also going to cover the Spotify one again, a kind of an, I will give a kind of a recap on that. So that is we are going to cover up, no doubt. Again, weekly AI stuff is going to be there. A lot of AI news that is coming out. Like small news are always there. So that is, and Google, there are also news regarding Google's been ruled as monopoly too, which is happening for past couple of months. It's just like we have not talked about that much. We will also about talk about that and how they are going to end the monopoly in court. We don't know, but the case is still going on. So yeah, that is it for this week episode of the Tech Guy podcast, episode number 21 completed. Let me know your thoughts regarding jobs in AI, how AI is going to disrupt. Be rational, be kind of an, I will say, rather than going dystopian and how humanity is going to destroy. Like I love those kind of comments, but kind of in bits, I want some serious answers from you guys when it comes to those kind of stuff. So let me know your thoughts regarding that. And yeah, this is it for this week episode of the Tech Guy podcast. I will see you guys in the next episode of the Tech Guy podcast. See ya. Bye.